Hello, going through the Geometry 8.4 worksheet for the assignment. It was 1 through 17. Again, 1 through 6 start with decide whether the statement is sometimes, always, or never true. So we can go ahead and put S, A, or N. Works for me here. So again, the keyword here is rhombus. Remember, a rhombus is defined as a equilateral quadrilateral. So the word equilateral means equal sides, so this is always true. And remember, a rhombus is kind of a diamond shaped. And we have all sorts of goodies going on here. So it is a parallelogram as well. So keep that in mind. Moving here, I'm going to go to green here. Diagonals of a rectangle are perpendicular. So remember, a rectangle, we know what it looks like. The key feature of a rectangle is we got right angles here, 4 congruent angles. If I sketch this like that, again, we can see that this angle here, where the diagonals meet, really does not look perpendicular, but could a square rectangle have perpendicular? Yes, it could. So this is going to be sometimes true. Switching colors again. The opposite angles of a rhombus are supplementary. So if I look at this angle here and this angle here, again, remember that a rhombus is a parallelogram and this angle is congruent to that. So could they both be 90 degrees like this guy and this guy here? So 90 here, 90 here. So again, it's going to be sometimes. Alrighty, I'm going to switch colors. A square is a rectangle. So here's a square. And remember, the rectangle has 4 right angles and a square has 4 right angles. So a square is a rectangle is always true. Alrighty. Switching colors again. Diagonals of a rectangle bisect each other. Remember that a rectangle is in fact a parallelogram, and we have a theorem that says that the diagonals do in fact bisect each other. So diagonals of a rectangle bisect each other, always true. One last color change. Let's go black. Consecutive angles of a square are supplementary. So I got 90 here, 90 here. Those are consecutive. And because in fact it's a square is a rectangle, rectangle is a parallelogram, and a parallelogram has consecutive supplementary angles. So this is always true. Alrighty. 1/3 of the assignment done. So we have a rhombus. Okay, find each measure. So let's put in what we know. So RK is 5. So that means this is 5, this is 5, and this is 5. RY is 13. So 13, 13, 13, and 13. And YRZ is 67. That makes this 67, makes this 67, makes this 67. We also know that these are 4 right angles, and then that leaves this angle here to be 180 minus 90 minus 67, so we get 23. So this angle, this angle, this angle, and this angle are all 23. Okay? So now with that known, let's go ahead and answer some questions here. So KY. KY is right here. It's got to be 5. PK. PK is right here, also 5. Angle YZ or YKZ is right here. That's going to be right here, this angle right there, and we know that that is 90 degrees. And angle PZR right here, so that's 67. So again, I know from the first part of the year, whenever we're given information about a figure, we should put that on the figure, and then anything else we know we can figure out from there, we should put in automatically. Okay, moving on. Now rhombus. Again, this was a rhombus. This is a rhombus. Pretty popular here. So again, PQ is 3 root 2. AP is 3. We got to go back. I flubbed up a little bit here. So if we're told that PK is 5, this is 5, this is 5, this was 12, and this was 12 because of the 5, 12, 13 Pythagorean triple. So that means these should have been 12. Okay, a square has bisected pieces of diagonals that are all the same. Okay, so we have this, and PQ, okay, I'm out of, so we have 3 there, 3 root 2 here. So if that's 3 root 2, this is 3 root 2, 3 root 2, 3 root 2. If it's a rhombus, these are all right angles. Okay. Those are 3, and if I'm looking for this piece right here, I gotta say I'm gonna call it x. X squared plus 3 squared equals 3 root 2 squared. X squared plus 9 equals, when I square that in my calculator, I get 18. I subtract that 9 over. I square root, I get x equals 3. So these are all 3. So this really is a square, but still in the rhombus family. So switching over here. AQ is going to be 3. Angle APQ. Angle APQ, so we're looking at this angle. Now if this is a right angle and this is the same as this, these are the same, so this has to be 45 degrees. Okay. New color. MNP. Well, this has to be a right angle because it is in fact a square because of the other work here. So that's going to be 90 degrees. And PM goes all the way across, so it's 6. But again, the rhombus that led us to a square. Now, last part here is kind of fun. These are like puzzles here. If I have diagonals that intersect at a right angle and are also bisected, that has to be a rhombus. Can't be a square, and we can't just say parallelogram because parallelograms sometimes don't meet at a right angle. Over here looks like a rectangle. It's marked with one right angle. I don't know if these are parallel. I don't know if these are parallel. So not much more I can say is that it's a quadrilateral. Okay, these two pictures are very close, but since the diagonals are form a right angle and bisect each other and they're equal, this has to be a square. Alrighty, I hope that helped you get through the worksheet, and talk to you soon.